Hi everyone, it's Danny from Orchid Nature. Today we'll discuss about what is over-fertilizing when it comes to orchids. Now one of my viewers asked me a question, gave me an example of what could over-fertilizing be, and I think you have this comment on the screen now, so you can actually pause it and read it. It's pretty interesting. So the basic idea was, if I water my orchid in 2 gallons, let's say, of fertilized water, won't I expose the orchid to more fertilizer than if I would only use 1 gallon of fertilizer? I hope you understand the idea behind this. So yeah, let's talk about over-fertilizing. Okay, when you're fertilizing orchids, you usually have to read the label and see how much of the quantity of fertilizer in what quantity of water you have to mix. Now, this is because you need to get a certain concentration of fertilizer in your water. It doesn't mean you have to give your orchid 2 teaspoons of fertilizer. No, it just means you have to have a water with a certain amount of concentration of the elements contained in a fertilizer. So my viewer's question was actually legit. What if I mix, let's say, 2 tablespoons of fertilizer in 2 gallons of water, because that's what the label says. Won't I expose my orchid to 2 tablespoons of fertilizer instead of just mixing 1 tablespoon of fertilizer in 1 gallon? I'm just throwing out numbers here. Won't I just expose the orchid to 1 teaspoon of fertilizer? Won't that be better? Won't it mean that I'm really avoiding over-fertilizing? Well, actually no, and I gave my viewer an example. Imagine you are in the sea. You're in one specific location of the sea. Now, as you may know, the sea has a constant level of salinity all over the place. If you think about the whole sea, it has a massive amount of salt. But if you just pinpoint the exact location you're in, you're only exposed to a certain amount of salt, not the whole salt that the sea contains. It's the same thing with orchids. No matter how much water, fertilized water you use with your orchid, it doesn't mean you're actually exposing your beautiful orchid to 5 tablespoons of fertilizer if you mix them in 5 gallons. Your end goal is to get a certain concentration of fertilizer in the whole surface of the water you're using, because your orchid will only be exposed to that concentration of fertilizer, no matter how many gallons of water you prepare with fertilizer. As long as you maintain that concentration, everything is fine and you're not over-fertilizing your orchid. Over-fertilizing actually refers to 2 things, and one is to add more fertilizer in that recommended amount of water than the specific instructions on the label, and also it means fertilizing way too often. So that is over-fertilizing. But you preparing 1 gallon of water with 1 teaspoon of fertilizer versus 10 gallons of water and 10 tablespoons of water, it's practically the same thing, because both the liquids will have the same concentration of fertilizer, and you are safe to use both the 1 gallon bucket and the 10 gallon bucket. You can run water through the pot, you can soak the entire pot in those buckets. It doesn't matter. The concentration is the same and your orchid will only be exposed to that concentration, so you're not over-fertilizing. Okay, I hope I made myself clear, and I hope I was coherent. Tricky question, huh? I never thought you could think about things like that, but there you go. There are a lot of stuff out there that are not properly explained. So I hope I answered the question pretty well. I hope I got the idea through. Hope you understood anything. So yeah, if you have any other questions for me, and if you have like problems like this, ask me and I'll try to make a video and explain things to you. And if you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to subscribe and visit orchidnature.com for more goodies on orchids. I'll see you next time. Bye!